After the dungeon subjugation, Sir Kamara rushed in. "Sir Eugene," he called out. Eugene stood by the window staring outside. Slowly he turned, his cold gaze falling on Kamara. Kamara spoke urgently. "Is the news true?" Beside him, his brother Werthel twin frowned. "What is all this commotion about?" Eugene said nothing. Instead he stepped forward and threw a body at their feet. Both were stunned. The man, barely conscious, began muttering wildly. I tried to kill him. I tried to kill Jan Eugene, on Werthel twins' orders." Werthel froze, then snapped. "Nonsense. He's lost his mind." Kamara's expression hardened. "How far were you planning to go with this?" Werthel clenched his fists. "He's delirious. He doesn't know what he's saying." The man suddenly screamed. "Trash like him deserves to die." Before anyone could react, he leapt out the window. A sickening sound followed. Silence. Werthel spoke quickly, trying to regain control. "You saw it yourself. A madman torn apart by monsters. His words mean nothing." Kamara stared at him coldly. "Strange, you seem relieved." Werthel turned to Eugene, anger rising. "Do you have no pride as a knight? You dare slander me with baseless accusations?" Eugene stepped forward, voice calm but piercing. "On your honor as a knight, are you truly innocent?" Werthel met his gaze. "Yes." Eugene smiled faintly. "Then I challenge you. A trial by combat. Let our honor decide the truth." The courtyard filled quickly. Whispers spread. "The second young master. A duel?" He ordered an assassination. Kamara stepped forward and declared, "If both parties are certain, then let this duel decide the truth. The victor shall be judged by divine will." The duel began. Werthel charged first, fast, desperate. Eugene didn't move. He calmly blocked every strike. No matter how hard Werthel tried, nothing reached him. "He's too strong." Eugene remembered his past life. "This wretch used to hunt me." His eyes darkened. With a single counter, clang, Werthel was thrown back. His sword flew from his hand. Eugene said coldly, "Pick it up." Panicked, Werthel rushed forward. From the sidelines, Kamara watched, troubled. "Anyone can see it. The difference is overwhelming." In the next instant, flash, Werthel's arm fell. A scream echoed. Kamara rushed forward. "Stop. He's paid for his crimes." Eugene didn't move. "The duel isn't over." Kamara raised his voice. "He can no longer fight. The victor is Sir Jan Eugene." But Werthel, shaking, refused to yield. "I can still fight." He grabbed a sword with his remaining hand and charged again. "Stop!" Kamara shouted. But it was too late. A flash. Silence. Werthel stood still. Then, his body collapsed. His head rolled across the ground. Eugene spoke coldly. "You should have taken the chance your brother gave you." Silence gripped the courtyard. Kamara whispered, broken. "My foolish brother." Thus ended Werthel twin, and Eugene's first revenge in this life. Later, in the city of Marin, Miriam spoke, half amused, half annoyed. "That Baldy was your first familiar, and you used him just to force a confession before discarding him." Eugene replied calmly. "He was weak. He couldn't endure becoming a familiar." He added coldly, "I don't keep those who try to kill me." Miriam sighed. "A vampire should command countless servants. That's power." Eugene shook his head. "I don't need that. Weak familiars are more trouble than they're worth." Just then, a commotion broke out nearby. Eugene overheard merchants speaking. "Sir Galfrederick, he's been missing for 2 weeks." Eugene's eyes sharpened. "What happened?" Priscilla stepped forward. 2 weeks ago, he joined a labyrinth subjugation in Count Evergrove's domain. She continued. "He went missing inside. We searched the mid-rank area, nothing. No trace." "Which means," she said quietly, "he likely reached the high-rank zone and never returned." Eugene turned immediately. Without hesitation, he left for Evergrove's domain. To find, or save, Sir Galfrederick. John Eugene entered the Evergrove estate in haste. The young master, Javan Evergrove, greeted him with a calm smile. "I've heard of you," he said, "though you're far younger than I expected." Eugene bowed briefly, but Javan cut him off. "We'll speak inside. The situation is urgent." Once alone, Javan explained, Sir Galfrederick acted on his own and entered the upper levels of the labyrinth, an area our house hasn't accessed in over 100 years. "They're not just dangerous," another man added. Javan introduced him as Sir Legatus, the territorial knight. Something rules that place, Legatus said. Not a mere monster. He smirked at Eugene. I hear you defeated Galfredic. I did too. Seems we share something in common. Eugene ignored him. Javan continued, for a century, every party that entered the upper levels vanished. No survivors. After a month, we declare them dead. He paused. Galfredic has been missing for 3 weeks. Eugene stood immediately. Then I'll go now. The labyrinth isn't that simple, Javan replied. Give me 3 days. I'll prepare a subjugation party. Until then, rest. Reluctantly, Eugene agreed and left. The town outside was uneasy. Miriam frowned. That Legatus, he's unbearable. And do you really believe their story? Eugene shook his head. No. Something's wrong. Galfredic had already been promised recognition and a position. There was no reason for him to take such a reckless risk. A sudden commotion interrupted them. A man stood in the marketplace waving a flyer marked with a crimson eye. The Messiah will come, he shouted. The calamity has begun. Tremors, dying beasts, vanished knights. Offer blood and salvation will follow. Fear spread through the crowd. Eugene narrowed his eyes. The same eye symbol appeared on flyers everywhere. Before he could think further, someone brushed past him. The stranger glanced back and said mockingly, Strange, a vampire walking in daylight. Eugene reacted instantly. He dragged the person into an alley and slammed them against the wall. Who are you? How did you know? I'm from Blood Shadow, the stranger stammered. Stop, Miriam said quickly. She's a mage. That school serves vampires. Eugene froze for a moment, then the woman fainted. When she woke, she glared at him. Do you always attack people before they speak? Sorry, Eugene muttered. She introduced herself as Sirena Ramari of the Blood Shadow School. We can sense vampires, she explained. Lord Javan sent me to find you. Eugene's gaze sharpened. Why? Because I was there, she said. When Sir Galfredic disappeared. She explained that during the subjugation, the labyrinth suddenly shook violently. The ground collapsed beneath them. I fell, she said quietly. Galfredic threw me to safety, and took my place. Eugene said nothing. Everyone believes he triggered the upper levels, she continued. But that's not the whole truth. She hesitated. In the depths, I saw something. What? An enormous eye carved into the ground. Eugene's expression hardened. It was the same symbol spreading through the town. Elsewhere, hidden from sight, figures gathered around that very symbol, drawn in blood. A man lay impaled at its center as chants filled the air. Messiah, descend. A hooded figure watched from the shadows. And laughed. 3 days later, the expedition stood ready at the labyrinth's entrance. Sir Legatus approached Eugene with a faint, mocking smile. Excited to reunite with your dear friend? He said. Let's hope we won't need to carry back a corpse. Eugene met his gaze calmly. He's not the type to die so easily. Legatus laughed. Not yet, Eugene thought, watching him carefully. But this wasn't an accident, and you know it. He had waited 3 weeks. 3 more days meant nothing, if it brought him closer to the truth. A group of Templars from the Evergrove Monastery approached and bowed respectfully. We are moved by your resolve to risk your life for a friend in the name of God. Let us fight alongside you. Eugene paused for a fraction of a second, then nodded. Of course. Behind him, Miriam hid a faint smile. Ramari looked away, suppressing hers. Legatus chuckled. With devotion like that, Sir Eugene, perhaps you should consider becoming a holy knight someday. Eugene said nothing. They entered the labyrinth. The air grew heavy, saturated with unnatural energy. Moisture clung to the stone, and faint currents pulsed through the walls. This isn't a natural dungeon, Miriam murmured. It's structured, designed so that survival is barely possible. A convenient hiding place, Eugene said quietly. Or a prison, Ramari added under her breath. Legatus walked beside them. A fitting place for wicked things to lurk, he said, glancing at Eugene. Still, your skill is commendable. Not a single casualty. Eugene ignored the remark. How far to where Galfredic disappeared? No need to rush, Legatus replied. Didn't you say you trusted him? For now, trust me. And yet people die every time you come here, Eugene said flatly. Legatus smiled. Think of them as offerings. A low rumble followed. Then the labyrinth shook violently. Prepare yourselves. Legatus shouted. The structure is shifting. Eugene frowned. You never mentioned this. This area constantly rearranges itself, Legatus said calmly. It's where the shortcut to the upper levels lies. The walls groaned and moved. Paths split. Stone corridors twisted apart. Eugene? Miriam called out. But the shifting maze forced them away from the others. Eugene turned sharply. Legatus, where is the shortcut? A distant voice answered, laced with amusement. Right where you're standing. Then silence. Eugene's eyes darkened. So that's it. This was no natural phenomenon. Galfredik hadn't triggered anything. He had been trapped. Eugene, look. Romari's voice was tight. Ahead, bound to a cross-like structure, hung a battered figure. Galfredik. Eugene rushed forward, checking his pulse. Alive. Barely. If we move quickly, he can still be saved, he said. Miriam hesitated. Something feels wrong. I felt it since we entered. Like something's watching. A howl echoed through the chamber. Then a violent gust of wind. From the darkness, a massive figure emerged, muscular, horned, with flames burning in its chest. A minotaur, Romari whispered. Eugene stepped forward. Stay back. Protect him. He lunged. His strike landed, and did nothing. The minotaur didn't even react. With a single swing, it sent Eugene crashing back. Then it raised its massive scythe and drove it into the ground. What is it doing? The ground beneath Galfredik shattered. No. Eugene rushed forward. Too late. Galfredik fell into the darkness below. A surge of magic caught Eugene mid-step. Romari. What are you doing? He snapped. That creature is high-ranked, she shouted. Even you. She stopped herself, glancing briefly at Miriam. Even you shouldn't charge in recklessly. Eugene's expression hardened. You're overstepping. I'm keeping you alive, she said firmly. You won't save him if you lose control. A tense silence followed. Then Eugene exhaled slowly, forcing himself to steady. Romari lowered her voice. This labyrinth, it's far beyond what we expected. A slow clap echoed behind them. Well said. They turned. From an opening in the wall, Legatus stepped forward, smiling. I underestimated you, he said, glancing at Romari. To think you could manipulate the terrain like that. His gaze shifted to Eugene. You survived because of Galfredik once, and now because of her. He chuckled. I thought you were just another skilled knight. His smile widened. But it seems, there's more to you than meets the eye. Footsteps echoed behind Legatus. The Templars emerged from the shadows, silent, unmoving. In that moment, everything became clear. Eugene moved first. He seized Legatus by the throat and slammed him back. You did this to Galfredik, didn't you? Legatus didn't resist. He laughed. I merely brought you to him, he said lightly. You seemed so desperate to see your dear friend again. His hand shot up and caught Eugene's wrist. Eugene's eyes widened. The grip was overwhelming. Though I must say, Legatus continued, smiling, you're far ruder than the rumor suggests, Sir Eugene. Eugene forced himself back, breaking free. His gaze dropped to the mark on Legatus's hand. A symbol, pulsing faintly. So that's it, Eugene muttered. That strength isn't yours. Romari stepped forward, her voice tense. That pattern, it's a magic formula. A forbidden one. It allows the user to inherit another being's power. She swallowed. It was once used between humans, but when they began taking power from non-human entities, it was banned. Legatus scoffed. Forbidden? That's just a word invented by the weak to hoard power. The Templars closed in behind him. We are chosen, Legatus declared. When despair consumes this world, we alone will be selected by the gods to survive. Eugene's eyes turned cold. So you stole another strength, defeated Galfredik with it, and boasted as if it were your own. Pause. Fine. His voice dropped. I'll make sure you understand exactly where you stand. He stepped forward and struck. Legatus met him head-on. Their clash shook the chamber. The force alone cracked the surrounding stone. Romari froze. That power. Eugene moved like a storm, fast, precise, overwhelming. He's not normal, she realized. Legatus grinned as he blocked another strike. You're not the only one hiding your strength. He countered, hard. Their blows collided again, each impact sending shockwaves through the labyrinth. I won't hold back, Legatus said. Then, the ground beneath them gave way. Trap. The floor collapsed. Romari and Eugene were pulled downward into darkness. Legatus's laughter echoed above. Fall nicely to your deaths, Sir Eugene. Ramari! Eugene shouted. A burst of magic steadied their descent. But it wasn't enough. They were falling too fast, too deep. Eugene twisted midair and launched himself upward, hurling his sword with all his strength. The blade flew. Just as the walls began to close, it struck. A shallow cut across Legatus's face. His laughter stopped. I see, Legatus murmured, touching the blood. You're stronger than I imagined. His eyes gleamed. If I had faced you directly, victory wouldn't have been certain. He smiled again. Using Galfredic as bait was the right choice. The walls sealed. Darkness swallowed them. They crashed into the depths. Eugene hit the ground and immediately moved. Eugene, where are you? Ramari called. She followed and froze. Eugene stood ahead, holding Galfredic in his arms. Broken. Barely breathing. Can you save him? Eugene asked. Ramari hesitated. My healing magic isn't. Do it. His voice left no room for refusal. Ramari nodded. I'll try. She began the treatment. Moments later, Miriam arrived. I checked the area. There's no exit. Eugene scanned the surroundings. No weak points? No walls we can break. This is the deepest section, Miriam said grimly. A sealed chamber. Her expression darkened. And there's something else. The energy here, it's overwhelming. Even I can't control it. She pointed ahead. A pool dark thick blood. It doesn't belong, she said quietly. Eugene stared. Why can't you control it? Miriam hesitated. Because I can only control the blood of the dead. Pause. Which means whoever this belongs to is still alive. Silence fell. Then the ground trembled. Something rose from the darkness. The Minotaur. Again. Eugene stepped forward. Find a way out, he said to Miriam. Whatever it takes. And you? I'll hold it. Galfredic still couldn't move. That meant Eugene had no choice. He rushed forward, gripping his broken sword. The Minotaur roared. Their clash erupted instantly. Eugene struck. The blade shattered. The Minotaur's flames burst forth. Eugene dodged, weaving through the attacks, but not all. A blow struck him head-on. He was thrown back, then rose again. He gripped the broken blade. Blood dripped, twisted, reshaping, forming a new edge. A crimson weapon. He lunged again. This time, his strike cut, but only barely. The Minotaur roared and struck back, sending him crashing into the stone. Eugene? Ramari shouted. He forced himself up. So this is a high-ranked monster. It stood on a different level entirely. The Minotaur charged. Its weapon pierced through him. Once, twice, again. Eugene didn't fall. Instead, he stepped forward, placing himself between the monster and the others. Each strike tore into him, but he endured, shielding them. This feeling, powerlessness, it wasn't new. He had known it for years. So why? Another strike drove into him. Does it still hurt this much? Blood spilled. His body trembled, but he did not move aside. Behind him, Ramari clenched her fists. Sir Galfredic, please, wake up. Eugene staggered. Another blow. Another wound. So, he stood. Then, a faint movement. Galfredic's eyes opened, and he saw